Good morning, students. How are you? I hope you are all fine and safe at home. And you have enjoyed the Christmas also, isn't it? Now, uh, already I have completed, I have taught economics lesson 5, migration. That today we can see the remaining portion. Okay, that is factors underlying migration. What are the factors underlying migration? See, here the extent and nature of migration in any society is basically determined by the nature of the development process experienced by the society. See, how this migration occurs, how long it was occurs in society, how it was occurs in the society. By the society, the extent and the nature of migration in any society is basically determined by the nature of the development process experienced by that society. That is the type and scale of development achieved by agriculture and industrial sectors in an economy would determine the migratory patterns. So, in India and Tamil Nadu, though the agricultural and industrial sectors have grown over the years, inequalities still exist in access and income distribution. Endemic poverty continues to be the major problem. So, what was the main reason? What are the factors for the migration? Means what is the poverty? This is one of the factors for the migration. So, reason for the migration in India. For what purpose and all people are moving? Do you know? From this picture you can understand clearly. See, first one. The different colors also they have shown clearly, isn't it? Reasons for migration in India. Okay, what are the reason? Work or employment, business, education, marriage, mood after birth, mood with the household, and other things also. Okay, so how much percentage for work or employment, for doing some work or for employment, how much percentage people are moving from India? 14.7 percentage. How much people? 14.7 percentage. Okay, and for business 1.2 percentage only. Next, for education 3 percentage people are moving, and next one 43.8 percentage mostly the marriage. Okay, for marriage how much percentage? 43.8 percentage for marriage. Next, 6.7 percentage are moved after birth. Okay, and 21 percentage moved with household. Okay, and 9.6 percentage for other purpose. Also, they are moving from one place to another. So, here among this, which one is more? Means the marriage. That green color, can you see? That is the more. For mostly the migration has happened for the marriage. Okay, the growth process have also created spatial equalities by leading to enclaves of growth. The migration pattern observed in a developing societies such as ours correspondent to these inequalities. Economic, social, spatial, etc. created by the development processes. So, the growth process has also created spatial inequality. There is not equal. They are not equally divided. There is an inequality thereby leading to enclaves of growth. The migration pattern observed in a developing society such as ours correspondent to these inequalities created by the development processes. So, what are that? According to this economic, social and the spatial. Okay. Therefore, any migrant stream would consist of heterogeneous substream. they are different. For example, if we consider the rural-urban migrant stream, it would comprise of rural rich and the rural poor, each with its own reason and motivation for migration, the mode of migration, the outcomes or correspondence of migration, etc. See, in rural, it said there are poor and rich. There is another one important thing. The largest migration corridor in the world is 2010 was Mexico and USA. The Arctic term has the longest migration distance of any bird in the world. Okay. So in the urban also, both poor and rich have. In rural area also, both rich and poor have. Urban area means what? In cities. For example, Chennai. Chennai we can consider as a city. In Chennai also, not all the people are rich. Some poor people also there. Some rich and some poor. At the same time, in the village, rural, there are also some rich and some poor people are there. So this poorer section of the population migrate as a survival strategy in response to a distressing condition in rural areas. Migrate from better off section, migrate to improve their living standard. So, for what purpose the people are moving? Do you know? What are the factors responsible for the poorer section and better off section to migrate? What are the factors responsible for the poorer sections and better off sections to migrate? That is one question. That poorer section of population migrate as a survival strategy to live in response to a distressing condition in rural areas. Migrate from better off section migrate to improve their living standard. Okay. So, there are two sections, poorer section, better off section. Poorer section of population migrate as a survival strategy. Better off section migrate to improve their living standard. They want to improve their standard of living. At the same time, poorer section in order to live, to respond to conditions in the rural area. Okay. So, there are next one. The pattern of migration is very complex, comprising of a number of streams. There are three streams: rural to rural, short, medium and long-term stable migration. Listen, this is also a very important question. Discuss the patterns of migration. What are the patterns of migration? What are the factors of migration? First point, rural to rural, rural to urban, urban to rural, urban to urban. What are the patterns of migration? Or discuss the patterns of migration. How these people are moving, from where to where, for what purpose. Okay. So, rural to rural. For example, we can say, rural, from one village to another village, from Monday market to Friday market. Okay. Rural to urban. That means from where to where? From Monday market to urban. Urban means Chennai, we can say. Okay. From urban to rural. From Chennai to Monday market, like that also we can say. Then urban to urban means Chennai to Delhi. That also we can say. Yeah, like this method also the pattern of migration is done. Next, short-term migration, medium-term migration, long-distance migration also there. There are three streams of migration. What are the three streams of migration? Short, medium and long-distance migration streams are there. A long-term stable migration and short-term circulatory type of movement. Then next one is there are two types of movement. Long-term stable migration, that means 1 year or 2 year, 3 year, they will be permanent in one place. and short-term circulatory type of movement. Circulatory type means for some few months they will be in one place, and next and another few months they will be in another place, like that. This movements will happen. Each of the stream would consist of different types of migrant from different social classes, each with its own reason for migration. The extent and nature of this migrant stream would essentially depend on how this was extended, this stream, this pattern of migration, how it was happened, the pressures and aspiration experienced by people at the origin of migration. Due to the pressures and aspirations experienced by people at the origin of migration, constraints imposed on mobility at the origin of migration, opportunity at the destination and availability of information regarding these opportunities, and the cost of migration. These are the important migration for survival, or the migrant stream. What are the important migrant stream of pressures and aspiration experienced? Pressures means what? They have some mentally torture or anything, isn't it? And aspiration experienced people at the origin of the migration, and constraints imposed on mobility. Sometimes they have some force, isn't it? Constraints imposed on mobility at the origin of the migration. Next, opportunities at the destination and availability of information regarding this opportunity. They have some opportunity to go to foreign countries or any other countries to get good job also. They have the opportunity. Next, the cost of migration. Due to the cost also they have migrant. Okay, so if suppose in their particular place the cost is high, or they want to buy more things, they will move to another area. For example, they will move to the rural area. Okay, so this picture also clearly explains the migration for survival. For living only they are moved. Next one, migration policies. What are the migrations policies? Two important policy: to reduce the volume of migration, to redirect the migrant stream. There is only two important policies. What are the two important policies? This is also a very important question, detailed question. State the aims of migration policy: to reduce the volume of migration and to redirect the migrant stream. So the policy to address the problem of migration in developing countries like India essentially aim at the following. First one, to reduce the volume of migration. How we can reduce the volume of migration? As a large part of migration is a reflection of poverty and insecurity faced by large section of the rural people. Mostly rural people from village, only the people are facing poverty and insecurity. They have no secure. The focus of intervention has to be in rural areas. This has happened mostly in rural areas compared to the urban areas. Okay. Rural development policies to reduce poverty and insecurity would be essential to reduce the rate of migration. So first important aim of migration policies are to reduce the volume of migration. Where it happens means mostly in rural areas. Okay, why it happened means because of the insecurity and poverty. Okay. Second point, to redirect the migrant streams. Redirection of migrant stream away from big metropolitan cities is a desirable policy option. This policy can help in reducing spatial inequalities by suitable strategies such as developing a more dispersed pattern of urbanization. So, where it happened means in the urban cities, in the urban place, that is the cities. It is not a compulsion or anything. It is a desirable policy. What is the meaning for desirable? Okay, they themselves choose and they will move. So to redirect the migrant stream, redirection of migrant stream away from big metropolitan cities is a desirable policy option. The people will prefer and they will move. This policy can help in reducing spatial inequalities by suitable strategies such as developing a more dispersed pattern of urbanization. So this, according to this, it is not a compulsion. People are not moving because of poverty and insecurity. Their own will and wish. Okay. Now we can mark this. So I'll take page number 316. Roman number 1, choose the correct answer. According to the 2011 census, the total population of India was dash. That is option A, 121 crore. Second one, dash has recorded the maximum number of emigrant. That is option C, Chennai. Third one, during 2015, dash of illiterate were migrant from Tamil Nadu. Option A, 7%. Fourth question, the poorer section of the population migrate dash. Option A, as a survival strategy. Next, Roman number 2, fill in the blanks. First one, migration is enumerated on dash and dash basis, place of birth and place of residency. Second question, the mobility of population in rural areas is dash than urban areas. It is greater. Third question, in rural India, as per census 2011, dash percent of the population are counted as migrant, 37. Fourth question, dash is the major reason for female migration, marriage. Fifth question, any migrant stream would consist of dash substream, heterogeneous. Next, match the following. First one, migration policy to reduce the volume of migration. Female migrant, marriage. Chennai, maximum number of emigration. Fourth one, better off migrant, that is to improve the living standard. Fifth question, Salem, low incidency of immigration. Sixth question, male migrant work. Next, Roman number 4, give short answer. Enlist the reason for migration. That is page number 216. Under the heading recap, third point, fourth point and sixth point. Third, fourth and sixth point. Under the heading recap, third point, marriage is the major factor responsible for women's mobility in India and in Tamil Nadu. Occupation is the major factor responsible for male migrants in India. Next, sixth point, the poorer section of the people migrate for survival, but migrant from better off section migrate to improve their living standard. That's all. Second question, what are the major factors responsible for female migrant in India? Page number 314. Page number 314, under the second para, fourth line. Fourth line, a larger proportion of females are reported to be migrant compared to male in the country as a whole. 53% are female migrant, while question number female migrant in India. Sorry. The question is, what are the major factors responsible for female migrant in India? What are the major factors responsible for female migrant in India? So, third para, second line. %70 in India and 51% in Tamil Nadu report marriage as the reason for migration of female in 2011 census. Okay. What was the main factors? That is the marriage as the reason for the migration of females in 2011 census. Next, if you need, you can write this also. A larger proportion of female are reported to be migrant compared to male. In the country as a whole, 53% are female migrant while 23% are male migrant in 2011. In Tamil Nadu, the picture is very similar with more than half of female, 52% reporting their status as migrant. Third question, name 4 districts in Tamil Nadu which record low number of immigration. That is also page number 314. Kadalur, Karur, Tiruvannamalai, Vellore, Namakkal, Salem, Dindigul, Krishnagiri, Nilagiri and Dharmaburi district record low number of immigrants. That is page number 314. 7th para fully. Okay. Next, fourth question, what are the factors responsible for the poorer section and better section to migrate? Page number 315. Page number 315. Fourth para, the next side that you can see, second line. Poorer section of the population migrate as a survival strategy in response to distressing conditions in rural areas. Migrant from better off section migrate to improve their living standard. That's all. Fifth question, list the 4 destinations and the percentage of migrant from Tamil Nadu. Page number 314. Page number 314. That is ninth para full. Okay, ninth para fully. Of the total migrant who go to foreign countries, nearly 20% have chosen to go to Singapore, while 18% to the United Arab Emirates, 16% to Saudi Arabia, 13% to the United States of America and Malaysia, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Australia and England are also referred as important destinations for migrants from Tamil Nadu in the year 2015. Next, sixth question, what does the study reveal about the occupation undertaken by migrants? That also page number 314. Last para, fully. The study clearly reveals various occupations undertaken by the migrant, highly skilled professions on one hand and low skilled occupations on the other hand, along with a large number of semi-skilled occupations. So, next, Roman number 5, answer in detail. First question, state the aims of migration policy. This page number 316 under the heading migration policies. The 2 point fully. Okay, from to reduce the volume of migration from there to a more dispersed pattern of urbanization up to that. Next, second question, discuss the patterns of migration. It is page number 315. 315. Under the heading factors underlying migration. That one picture is there around, isn't it? Work, employment, how many reasons for migration in India. That also you need. Next, sixth para. There are 7 points are there, isn't it? That one. The pattern of migration is very complex, comprising of a number of streams from there to till the cost of migration. Next to that, reason for migration in India, that picture also you want to draw. And you want to write the percentage also. That one is the second question answer. Third one, elucidate about some of the interesting findings on migration in Tamil Nadu. Page number 314. Fourth para, last line. This study has made some interesting findings as discussed below. From there to up to low number of immigrant. Okay, up to low number of immigrants. That is third question. Fourth question, analyze the educational qualification of migrant from Tamil Nadu in 2015. That is so page number 314. Ninth para fully. Sorry, 10th para full. Okay, 10th para. On the question of educational qualification of migrant, from there to postgraduate degrees. That para fully. Okay. Next, write the correct statement. First question, in recent times, workers from Tamil Nadu are moving to Africa. Answer is, in the more recent period, workers from Tamil Nadu have been moving to countries like Australia, USA and Saudi Arabia. Once again, I am reading that answer. In the more recent, cut that word times and write period. Okay, period. Workers from Tamil Nadu, cut the word are and write have been moving to, instead of Africa, you want to write countries like Australia, USA and Saudi Arabia. Second question, in Tamil Nadu, the extent of migration is much higher in urban areas compared to rural areas. The answer is, in Tamil Nadu, the extent of migration is much higher in, instead of urban, you want to write rural areas compared to, instead of rural, you want to write urban areas. That's all. Only you want to change that urban into rural and rural into urban. Once again, I am reading that answer. In Tamil Nadu, the extent of migration is much higher in rural areas compared to urban areas. Third question, any migrant stream would consist of homogeneous substreams. Answer is, any migrant stream would consist of heterogeneous substream. So you want to cut the word homogeneous and you want to write heterogeneous. That's all. Fourth question, 2 out of every 10 person is reported to be a migrant. Answer is, 2 out of every 5 person is reported to be a migrant. Instead of 10, you want to write 5. That's all. Okay. So please students, study well. Okay. And you want to write and see this answer also. Thank you students.